Hello again from my front porch. You like my dapper chapeau? This is actually something new I'm trying. I was told that this is an Irish hat or an Irish cap. I was told that I would look good wearing something like this. So I acquired a couple of them, and I've started trying them out, trying to wear them, and I think it looks I think it does look pretty good. Yeah, I think it does look pretty good. So I plan on trying to really do that more, and maybe even get a couple other, because I got a black one and I got a gray one, and well, for guys, we don't have a whole lot of wide color variety in our palette, and so that might be enough for me. We'll see. But for now, I like this one. I think it does look good, and you can be the judge of that. Speaking of looking good, how am I looking? Yeah, I mean, just. I had a doctor appointment today, and for the last several years, almost since I got diagnosed diabetic, which had been like 8 years ago, I've been on this regimen, or this pattern of going to see my doctor once every quarter, once every 3 months. And one of the things it always has done is checking the A1C to see how I'm doing, but also other vitals and things. And then of course once a year it's the actual physical, the more, checking all the stuff and seeing what's going on. And that was today. I had one of those today. And so went in, and I am pleased to report that my vitals all came back really good. Even my blood pressure, which traditionally has been a little bit high, that was not where it has been in the past. My stress level currently seems to have come down some, which is good. But also my weight is down. I'm down to 180 pounds, which some of you might say, down to that point? Well, yeah, down, because I had gotten down to this neighborhood before, and then I kind of fell off the wagon, and kind of was not really monitoring things as well as I should have. And as a result, I got back up pushing the 200 again. And I had swore when I dropped under 200 the first time when I was losing weight that I would never cross that line again. And I could see on my scale I was getting closer to that. And so I tried to rein that in some. And so I've been a little more mindful of my diet of things. And the Manjaro that has been prescribed to me the last, I don't know, 3-4 months that I've been taking now, that obviously has an impact too, because that helps curb your appetite, helps limit your what you're able to consume and put in the tummy, and so that has certainly contributed also, and I'm not complaining at all. And so that contribute. When I was talking about the new fashion stuff, when I went out to Kohl's, I actually bought some shirts that are mediums. I don't recall ever owning medium shirts, at least not since high school or something. And so that's been exciting, but it's all factors in as part of it. So my weight was down, and my A1C is back down to really where it needs to be. As of today, it was back to 6.1. And so I was very pleased with those results. And it kind of ties to another concept. This always happens. Something's going on, and it makes me think about this other thing. And so that's what's happened here. And I can't take full credit for this, because I saw a video clip of somebody on social media that they were taking it in a very different direction than I'm going to, but they were talking about the disconnect that a lot of people have between beliefs and behavior, and that we have to figure out which of those we're in. Ideally, your beliefs and your behaviors should sync up. Otherwise, that's what we call hypocrisy. Well, our world is filled with a lot of hypocrites, and not necessarily 100% hypocrites, but sometimes it's topical hypocrites, that we turn a blind eye to our hypocrisy in that area, but we're okay, or so it happened. But so, like, for example, the health things that I was just sharing. I have said before that, I did not like looking at myself in some photos and seeing, oh, there's big belly sticking out there, whatever. And I, sorry. And so I didn't like that. That I was seeing that starting to blossom again. And the funny thing is, my weight was down, but my body's shape, I was letting the little Pillsbury Doughboy tummy start to take over again. And okay, if my belief is that I don't want to look like that, my belief is that I want to look thinner, that I want to look healthier. If that's my belief, what is my behavior? How is my behavior reflecting my belief? Because if I really believe that I want to look thinner, that I want to not have a poofy tummy, what am I changing in my behavior to achieve that? Because just saying I want to look thinner doesn't make you look thinner. Watching what you eat, showing some degree of self-control. Ooh, that's tough. Showing some degree of self-control and limiting yourself on things that normally you might just go full bore. Oh, that's so good. I'm going to eat lots of. Holding back. I'm not saying cold turkey, but even sometimes just tapering it back. And, instead of eating all of this, just eating this much of this. And you have to make those kind of changes, and you have to stick to those kind of changes if you want to affect something like, I want to lose some weight, I want to look thinner. Yes, things like Mounjaro help and stuff like that, but still, if I started taking the Mounjaro and then was like, well, because I'm taking Mounjaro, I can eat whatever I want, it wouldn't help. I'd be right back to the same situation. See, you have to have your level of personal commitment to doing those things. And so I cite that with, I use my observing about my appearance and how happy I am with how things are progressing. And I'm not done. I'm still pushing ahead. We'll see if I don't want to look like, I'm too thin, that I'm just withering away. But by the same token, I think I could still lose maybe another 10 pounds or so. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, I was thinking about this belief versus behavior, and it also triggered me thinking professionally, because in my workplace, I've already shared that my personal instinct is, if you're doing training on something, that should mean you end up doing something different. Otherwise, what was the point of the training? If you're not doing something different because of what you've learned, why did we bother teaching it to you in the first place? What was the point? That's my belief. And so I'm a big fan of behavioral change. That should be a really key litmus test for how successful some kind of training was. And so, the meeting that I was at down in Houston recently that I mentioned earlier this week, and I just had a meeting with my own leader just a little bit earlier here today. We just did a check-in on various projects and things going on, and came up again there in this context, this disconnect between beliefs and behavior. And the disconnect shows up there in the context of, you say, this is what we want to cover in this training. This is what we want to try to accomplish. This is the goals and the objectives. And people agree. People go, yeah, that's good. Yeah, oh yeah, that. Okay, now you actually put people through training that this stuff is addressed, the belief stuff we're addressing, but then we don't expect them to do it. We're not expecting that they're going to just come out and say, oh, this is the change that we're making here. This is the new direction. This is how we're altering how we keep doing everything the same that we did. And sometimes it's not even the learner. Sometimes it's the leader of the learner going, yeah, don't worry about that. Just keep doing things the way we are. We've got a good pattern, we've got a good start. But see, when we do that, we are implementing a massive disconnect. Oh yeah, we all believe this stuff is important. We all believe this stuff needs to be addressed, but we're not supporting it being a behavior change. We're not supporting an impact on behavior and what is done. That's in the professional learning world. Wax on, wax off. But in addition to that, you just think, I mean, really, we could start talking about any kind of situation. You talk about going out to a fast food restaurant or any restaurant. I wouldn't just say fast food, any restaurant. Who is most important at a restaurant? Is it the cook? Is it the server? Is it the manager? Obviously, it's the customer. Because if you don't have customers coming into your restaurant, you don't have a restaurant. And yet, that's the belief. And that will be reinforced. That'll be told to staff when they're hired and trained, all that stuff. But the behavior is often a complete 180 opposite of that. And you know, I suppose I shouldn't even limit to restaurants. It could be any retail store, could be any customer-facing interaction. Because I was just having a conversation recently about how annoying it is when you go into a place. It's often a restaurant, but not always. Sometimes it's other places. But you go into a place and you need something, or you're asking something, or you're looking for help with something, or you're just like Walmart is a place where this comes up a lot, where they've got their people running around stocking shelves. They used to do that overnight. Now they do it right there during the day, and they block all the access aisles to cut across. You're trying to look for something, and someone comes scooting down with some other big cart that they're gathering stuff up for their online ordering, and they don't care about it. They don't even say, "Excuse me, I'm coming." They just expect to get out of the way. In those instances, I, as the customer who is there paying money for whatever it is, for whatever service or product you're providing, I'm made to feel like I am inconveniencing that worker. However, if I don't show up to spend my money, that worker has no reason to be there. And I'm not just saying me like I'm spending, I'm saying myself as a customer. If the customers aren't coming in and interfering, interrupting, inconveniencing that worker's not even there to be interrupted and inconvenienced. You have to have the customers. And so again, the belief is customer service is number one. The customer's always right. We're here to take care of the customers. All these mantras, all these slogans. And yet, the behavior of a lot of those workers is, here comes all these customers trying to annoy me, messing up my flow for the job I'm trying to do. The job you're doing is to support that customer that you're annoyed with. You have a massive disconnect between the beliefs and the behavior. We could talk about politics. I always love talking about politics. I mean, I don't like talking about them in the show, but it's so rich that any conversation can intersect with politics, and not generally in a positive way. But politics, oh wow. Politicians all the time will get up and talk and give speeches and say, I believe, my belief is that I want you to believe that my belief is that. But then when it comes time to actually cast a vote or to take a stand or to speak up for something, the behavior goes, I'm a big braggart over here with what I'm saying my beliefs are. But when I have opportunity to demonstrate my beliefs by behavior, nope, not happening. Because I'm wheeling and dealing and I'm working and I'll have all these excuses and I'll blame, I'll deflect, I'll do whatever. Reality is, no, you're a hypocrite. You said I stand for this, then you did not. And I'm not going to cite, because I don't want to go down that rabbit trail of partisan whatever. That's not it. You all know what I'm talking about. You've seen it happen plenty of times. So again, This is human nature. This is an unfortunate side effect of our obsessive focus on trying to feel out what is best for us in context with everything around us. And sometimes we get a little too tunnel vision focused on ourself. Or we focus on this over here thinking, okay, I'm going to do this and that'll be the right thing. And we completely ignore the broader impacts of what it is we're doing. That'd be another one I could talk about politically. Oh, Lordy, there's so many examples of the politicians doing something today without any consideration of the ramifications of what they're doing for long term. It's a whole nother can of worms. But my challenge to us here today, sitting here on the front porch, you all virtually with me here, welcome, is, are we keeping ourselves in check? If we're going to be bragging, we're going to be boisterous, we're going to be expressive about, I believe this, this is what drives me, this is my core values, this is what okay. When push comes to shove, how well do you stick to those? Seriously. Any context, any situation. You say this is your belief, but do your behaviors back that up? I'm just going to let that sit there, because each of us needs to ponder in our own lives where that might apply. And if there is anywhere that you're sitting there already feeling a little uncomfortable, hey, Paul, stop poking at me about that. You need to consider. Now, maybe you have a legitimate reason. I don't know. But you need to really consider if there is a disconnect between what you're saying are your beliefs or what you even think are your beliefs. Maybe you're not proclaiming them to the world, but deep down you feel like this is what I believe, and yet your actions, your behaviors are not supporting that. They're not the same. Maybe it's time for a little self-examination and ask yourself, why is that? Why do I have this disconnect? And do I really want to have that disconnect? Maybe I need to reevaluate what I claim I believe, what I'm saying are my beliefs over here, so that, because clearly my behavior is the reality of what I actually do believe. Or maybe it's time to just reevaluate what you're doing. Saying, you know what? Now that I think about it, I don't like this that I do. I really believe this, and this isn't in line with that. Time to make a change. So there you go. I had this pop in my head, and of course, when this stuff pops in my head and just kind of sits there, I got to get it out. So congratulations, you get it now too. So always be mindful, be evaluating. Do your beliefs match your behaviors? And if they don't, consider why. And consider how you can change that and bring them into alignment. With that, I'll let y'all go. And I'll see you next time from my front porch.